couple of years ago, I began writing a series of nonfiction books called the Simp Trilogy. And in this trilogy of books, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Manginas, They Look Like Men, but They Act Like Ladies, and The Misadventures of Captain-Save-A-Hoe, I go in depth about the dysfunctional life paradigm known as simping and tricking. And a reason why I broke it into three separate books is because each book details specifically the issues regarding a certain type of simp. What people don't understand, a lot of people they think that your simp is just one type of male. It's a variety of different types of male behaviors, and they needed to go. I believe that we need to really go in depth with it. Now, my research for these three books came out of doing a decade of research on nice guys and nice guy syndrome. It's actually a mental disorder listed in the DSM, and a lot of people don't understand why being a so called nice guy is dysfunctional. Um, these guys are really severely again, what makes them dysfunctional is the fact that they think that they're being nice, but they're really dishonest, manipulative, passive aggressive, and in some cases filled with a lot of rage. Um, your nice guy, or your what we call, well, in the street, what people call a simp, is he's really severely dysfunctional, and a lot of them come from the what I would say a feminine perspective. They see the world through like the way women see it, and they're always quick to submit to women, defer to women, and give women you know unfair advantages, I like to call it. They don't ever see anything from an objective perspective. But this is one of the things that makes them dysfunctional is that every they will do anything to get a woman's attention, a woman's approval, and everything about women. They live their lives revolving around women, and they never really look at things from a male perspective or focus on becoming better men. Everything about them is about pleasing women, making women happy, and that's really dysfunctional because God did not make the man to serve the woman. He made the man to serve him and to take care of himself. The goal of being a man is to put yourself first, and that's the most important thing of all is for a man to put himself first, to take care of his needs, to take care of himself, and to be the best man he can possibly be. His life is not meant to be lived to be submitting and deferring to women. That's a sign of true weakness in a man, and that's one of the things I try to go in detail about with these three books is talking about how to become a better man, how to break out of the simp and trick paradigm, and how to understand why these behaviors and these approaches to life are dysfunctional. And I go in detail, and that's the reason why I'm going into detail with these three different books because each guy is different, and his life each guy has a different life paradigm. They all end in failure, but each one is different, and you need to identify the patterns in that behavior so that you can break free of this vicious cycle. I've done a lot of research on this. I've read different things about nice guys, and I've come to understand that's why I went into the three different books, and I wanted each guy to understand because some guys are they're your basic simp. They're just spending money on women in the hopes of winning her favor and winning her over. Whereas you have your mangina, your male feminist. He thinks that if he gives women a free pass, he's gonna get her to like him or get laid or something like that. And then you have your Captain-Save-A-Hoe, a guy who puts on his cape and goes out and seeks out who actively goes out and seeks out the most dysfunctional women he can find so that he can fix them and turn them into his ideal mate. And each guy has his own issues and his own dysfunctional life paradigm, and each one needs to be, you know, the way I saw it, dealt with in separate books, and they each needed constructively different solutions so that we could see what direction they were going in. Because what I found from doing these three books, from readers, the feedback I've gotten is, you know, that each of these books has helped different men in different phases see where they were with this nice guy syndrome, see their pattern, and start making efforts to break free from it. I've done a lot of research on it, and that's why I came to the conclusion of breaking it into three separate books. And right now, I'm getting ready to do a new edition of Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, because I've done more research about this men's issue of nice guy syndrome, and I'm about to do a new book about this paradigm, about the simp paradigm, where I talk about the lack of masculine energy. I talk about that in Manginas, but I'm going to talk about it more in this one, second edition of Stop Simping, about how these simps have feminine energy, how they come from a a submissive approach, and how they come from a position of weakness, and about how their approaches to life, just do not work, and that's because they come from that position of weakness, and that's what I'm going to go in depth in Stop Simping second edition. I'm also going to be talking about thirst and controlling your manhood and having discipline and character. These are all things that your average simp just doesn't have, or self control, controlling your emotions. This is stuff I'm going to go into in the Stop Simping second edition. But in the Simp Trilogy, I have gone in depth with these issues, and the books have had a huge impact on men all over the world. Um, I've gotten letters from people from Italy, people on Facebook all over the country have contacted me about manginas. Um, a guy from Italy, he contacted me about Misadventures of Captain-Save-A-Hoe. A guy from South Africa contacted me about Misadventures of Captain-Save-A-Hoe. And they've all said that, there was a lot of wisdom in these books, a lot of good advice, a lot of stuff that has helped them, take their lives to the next level and break free of the nice guy syndrome and, do better and be better men. And I'm glad to hear that, because one of the reasons why I wrote the book is to help men, break free of this vicious cycle of nice guy syndrome, break free from this simp and trick paradigm, and understand that, you can't submit to women in the hopes of winning their favor. That approach is never going to work. Women are natural followers, and they want a man who's going to lead them. They want a man who comes from that position of strength, a man with self-confidence, a man with self-esteem, a man of strong self-worth. This is what women want in a man, and this is not what we're seeing with these simps and the way men have been presented over the last 40 years. And that's another thing I'm going to go into in the Stop Simping the second edition, is because it's to talk about how men have been depicted over the last 40 years as weak and cowardly, submissive, and we've seen in all these TV shows and movies, men come in weak, and then they thinking that they're going to come win women over, and it doesn't work. That whole paradigm that we've seen is just dysfunctional, and you need to understand why it's dysfunctional. Nobody likes nice guys because, again, nice guys aren't very nice. They're dishonest, manipulative, passive aggressive. I mean, I've not only read all of this, I've seen it in action, and I've seen men act like this and continue to fail at life. And they'll sit there and they scratch their heads and wonder, why am I failing at life? And the reason why they're failing at life is because they're coming at it from an approach that is just too rooted in a female perspective and too rooted in pleasing and appealing to women. And that's not going to help you as a man. What's going to help you as a man is learning how to be a leader. And I mean, this is what God made you. He made a man to be a leader. He made the man to be the head of the family. And he made the man to be, put himself first and take care of his own needs and take care of everything that he has to do. And we're not seeing this with today's men. A lot of today's men, especially in the black community, have learned how to be, really too feminine, too soft, too weak, and too submissive. And the reason why they can't succeed is because they're putting themselves last. And again, I've gone into this in several other videos, but I go into depth of the Simp Trilogy. And this is one of the reasons why I want to try to get these books out here, is because I want to help men be better men. And the Simp Trilogy is free on Smashwords. All three books are available there. You can just click the link in the description box. It'll take you to my to the Smashwords pages where all of these books are listed. You can download them for free. Improve your quality of life and just learn how to become a better man. Identify dysfunctional behaviors that you might or may not be participating in, or somebody you may not be participating in. You can also go to my blog, www.shawnsjames.blogspot.com. There I have several articles I've written about men's issues. Many are very popular, like a blog I did called Ways Single Mothers Destroy Their Sons, a blog I call Why Real Men Avoid Single Mothers. There's a whole bunch of men's issues blogs there, especially in the 2012, 2013. You just click down. They'll all be there. There's plenty of men. The reason why I do these books is because I want to help men be better men. And again, the way I see things, only a man can teach another man how to be a man. Only a man can teach a boy how to be a man. And we need more men, just sharing information. That's one of the reasons why I make these books free on Smashwords. On Amazon, you're going to have to pay because that's just the way Amazon is. And, I make these books available for men so they can be better men, improve the quality of their lives, identify these dysfunctional behaviors, and begin work on dealing with them. I mean, these are simple things you can do every day, and if you continue to do them every day, your quality of your life will get better. And sometimes, and if you have to, go to a men's group. There are plenty on Facebook. I'm in quite a few of them. Or you can go to a psychotherapist like the Iceman, www.asktheiceman.com, and go get some counseling there. But the whole thing is that as a man, you have to make efforts to improve the quality of your life. And you need to interact with other men and learn how to socialize with other men and deal with these issues from this, because a lot of guys, they don't know that they're grown up with this nice guy syndrome, or and why this paradigm is dysfunctional, why this way of life is approached dysfunctional for a man, and that submission is just not natural for a man. God did not make the man to be submissive. He made the man to be strong and assertive. And you have to understand that if you come from this approach, you're always going to fail as a man. I hope to get Stop Simping second edition out by the summer. And in that book, because if you've read the original Stop Simping, it's kind of short. But in this one, I'm going to try to make things longer, like the Manginas or the Misadventures of Captain-Save-A-Hoe, where I go a bit more in depth. And I really go into why this paradigm is dysfunctional, because I've read more materials on Nice Guy Syndrome, and I've read the Manifesto of Elliot Rodger, and I've come to a really more comprehensive understanding of this issue. So I'm hoping to make, really want to make Stop Simping second edition more in depth, more and talk about more issues, and talk about more of the other issues that simps have, and the other approaches to their behavior that they participate in. And that's what I really want to do in the second edition, because the first edition was pretty short, whereas the Manginas and the Misadventures of Captain-Save-A-Hoe were a lot more in depth and a lot more detailed, and a lot of men got better information in those books. So I want to make sure that all three books meet a certain standard for quality. So that's why I'm coming out with Stop Simping second edition. And I'm really encouraging guys, just go out here and get these books, because they are going to change your life. They are going to help you become better men, and they're going to help you take your life to the next level. Again, all these books are available on Smashwords for free. If you want to get them on Kindle, you're going to have to pay 99 cents. But what's 99 cents in the scheme of improving the quality of your life and taking yourself to the next level? as a man, and doing better in life for yourself. I mean, if you spend $3 I mean, $3 is a cup of coffee, but to spend $3 on 3 books that help you take yourself to the next level, that you will get so much more out of it than just $3. Um, and I and if you really and I also have another nonfiction book called Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Another great book. If you want to pick it up, it's also available on Smashwords for free, but you can buy it on Amazon. Um, all of these great books, again, they're available for free on Smashwords. You can pick them up on Amazon. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.